Hey there, gang. It's a much-needed Week 6 waiver wire, another huge high-profile injury, which we will get to in a little bit. But as always, there are shakeups and unexpected flare-ups, and we are here to advise you on how to adjust those fantasy rosters via your waiver wire in this strangest of strange NFL seasons. Hey there, I'm Chris, and before we get to the list of names, what I really want to tell you is we're recording this before not one, but 2 games in Week 5 have taken place. So for the latest in advice about the waiver wire guys and what you're spending for fab and who you're giving up waiver priorities for and such, make sure you tune into the podcast both on Tuesday and Wednesday. You can find all the details at harrisfootball.com. Let's dig into the first list. So these are potential adds in shallower leagues. I will get to the founding fathers, Alexander Madison, in just a moment. As for the rest of this list, please be aware that, first of all, what we're showing you are ownership percentages in Yahoo leagues. Anything more than 1/3 owned, we consider that to be a shallower league ad. There aren't a lot of super attractive running backs you're going to spend a lot of fab on this week, besides Madison. I snuck Damian Harris on this list just to remind you he exists. And he has some upside when the Patriots do eventually finally play. But T. Higgins is on there because A.J. Green is hurt and kind of ineffective. Ruggs is on there because he blew up Sunday, though the Raiders are off in Week 6, so you'll have to wait a week to see if that continues. And Hardman is on here because Sammy Watkins got hurt, but realize the Chiefs rarely seem to settle on a third guy behind Hill and Kelsey. So the numbers tell us that Alexander Madison is available in about 60% of leagues, so whether your league is deep or shallow, he's the number 1 waiver ad across all formats if he's there. He was always one of the most valuable running back handcuffs around, and while we don't know anything certain about this Dalvin Cook injury, it didn't look good. Cook didn't return to the game Sunday night. Got a pretty long history of injuries, and if I were a betting person, I would think he misses time, which means Madison has a legit chance to lead a fantasy team for however long it takes Dalvin Cook to get right. So as for Madison himself, he's not slow, he has a little bit of juice, but what he is more than anything is a power back at 220 pounds. As you can see before Cook's injury stopped here, but grinding to convert a second and short. Now I think you can argue the main difference between Madison and Cook, other than maybe acceleration, is vision. This one happens fast, we don't have a replay, but if we freeze it right when Madison gets the ball, all right, there's a linebacker in the hole, yeah, but there's a hole, isn't there some kind of cutback here warranted so that you don't plow right into your lineman? He cuts back eventually, but not very effectively. Similarly, key play of the game, 4th and 1 and trying to ice it by not kicking a field goal, all right, sometimes you get stuffed. It happens. It doesn't mean you're a bad running back, but if we look at this from the top angle replay, right when Madison gets the ball, I think you'd like to see him see the giant gaping hole to his right side and not plow right into his fullback. So, well, shocker, a backup running back has some limitations, but you can also see that when he gets a second to breathe on this draw play, Madison makes something good happen with all that space. The comparison I make is someone like Travis Henry, remember him, or Marion Barber, a physical player, a little bit of quicks, a little bit of not Dalvin Cook. Few people are Dalvin Cook. Madison is a slasher who needs a lane. Cook is a creator with absolute elite north-south acceleration. I think Madison will succeed for fantasy purposes, however long he winds up starting. And if he's available in your league, don't expect miracles. It's not a long-term gig. But if you need a starting running back now, you can probably spend up to half of your fab to get him. We will get back to the waiver wire in just a moment. First, let's thank the sponsors, and I'm wearing them on my face. Felix Gray glasses. I want to mention sponsors-wise, like myself and the 2 Daves who produce the show. We're not getting paid by a big company to do this channel. The way we keep this channel free to you is if you support the sponsors. Felix Gray glasses, a fantastic way to support the show. And by the way, all 3 of us now have Felix Gray glasses because we spend a lot of time on our screens. In this modern age of quarantine, who doesn't spend more time on their screens? And at the end of a long day, your eyes might feel dry or you might have headaches. Could be digital eye strain. More than 2/3 of Americans report symptoms of digital eye strain. And every pair of Felix Grays filters out blue light that causes digital eye strain. I just bought a pair for my mom. They really work for me. My eyes feel much better after all this film watching work. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/HarrisTube. It's a great thing to do for your eyes. It's a great thing to do to support this channel, to help keep us going. They are great. You will seriously love them. felixgrayglasses.com/HarrisTube. Okay, so if Madison is kind of the main guy we want to add, if he's not available in your league, we're looking at some deeper league names. I'm going to count them down 5 through 1, but the point of this channel is to be able to show you film on the players so you get a sense of what they can handle, what they can do. Number 5, I'm not that excited, but let's take a look at Washington running back J.D. McKissic. I'm not going to linger too long on McKissic. He's a pass-catching back. This is pretty typical fare for him with Washington. But we've always shown you things that we like about McKissic's quickness in the open field, making a big old linebacker look silly like that. The whole idea behind McKissic is get him in the open field and he'll almost always make someone miss. He's a talented player and his talent is limited, but he's good. He's not taking over for Antonio Gibson anytime soon. But the truth is that on Sunday, McKissic played 26 snaps to compare to 29 for Gibson. You're only thinking of McKissic as a desperation option in a PPR type situation like a flex. But there's a lot of fantasy desperation to go around. Please don't blow any real fab on him. Please don't give up a top waiver spot for him. But for now, this looks like the backfield. Gibson's the starter, and McKissic is going to back him up and play a lot. Okay, at number 4, I have Preston Williams. This is a wonderful catch very early on in the big surprise win over the 49ers. We don't have to worry about the quarterback being shy on this team. And yeah, just a week ago, we were told because of the box score that Isaiah Ford had passed Preston Williams on the depth chart. That is not how the snap count worked on Sunday. Williams was clearly the number 2 receiver, and he had himself a day. The lesson we can learn from watching Preston Williams in general, including this play, well, he can go down the field. He's slot left in a 5-wide formation. The Niners blitz, and they make the bet that Fitzmagic can't get the ball away, but he can. It's not very good defense there from 2 deep safeties, but that certainly can happen when an offense is flooding a zone. Too many guys to keep track of, and Williams is the one who makes the play down the field. Now, we should be aware, some of the appeal from this game in Week 5 was the fact that a good amount of the time Williams was matched up against a reserve corner named Brian Allen, and when Fitz saw that matchup here on the outside one-on-one, he's taking the shot, and you can see it wasn't a completion, but we did get a pass interference here. Here, top of the screen, one-on-one against Allen. Yep, this was obviously a matchup the Dolphins were keying on, and you can see Williams' size, the back shoulder throw. That might be complete against good coverage, and that's not very good coverage. Here on the top of the screen, again, one-on-one, again, against Allen. You get the point. It's 1 week, and it's a season where just about every wide receiver ebbs and flows, spikes and retreats. I can't tell you to blow big dollars on Preston Williams either. I can tell you he's 6'5". I can tell you he should win jump balls. I have 2 other receivers I'd pick on this list before him, but next week against the Jets, Williams has a chance to keep the momentum going. Okay, at number 3, another wideout with one more still to come. It's the Eagles. Travis Fulgham, seen here becoming basically Carson Wentz's only reliable on-time receiver in a shootout against the Steelers. This wasn't all there was to Fulgham's day, but I think these kinds of completions put you in the mind of what Fulgham is. 6'2", 215 pounds, scored a touchdown in Week 4 against the Niners, carved out a much bigger role Sunday to the tune of 13 targets, 10 catches, 152 yards. Not a burner. He's a big body. As Jim McCormick said on the podcast, he seemed to be the only person Wentz wouldn't overthrow. I don't know, you watch Fulgham huff and puff his way down the seam here out of the left slot, not really getting open, but earning enough trust to get a 50-50 ball thrown right over the defensive back's head. Can you squint and kind of see late-stage Alshon Jeffrey, who's obviously still been missing for the Eagles? Here, Fulgham is wide left, but it's a tight split, and this kind of is the Alshon routine, right? Just just run over there. Don't worry so much about like running past anybody or like really running a route. Just go over there and I will throw it up high and you will try and catch it. And when you do, we will all look smart. And of course, this also is part of the Alshon equation, the red zone touchdown. Nothing super special really about anything here. No elaborate routes, no elaborate speed, just go get it. And just by way of reminder from 2 weeks ago, seriously, couldn't we be looking at late career Alshon Jeffrey on film? This was Fulgham's touchdown against San Francisco. I'm not totally sold. You shouldn't be completely sold. Again, this is how wide receivers go in this league now. It's the infinite sadness. 1 week on, 2 weeks off. Very difficult to trust anyone. But the fact that you just saw it happen, the fact that we don't know when the likes of Alshon and Deshaun Jackson will get healthy, the fact that players like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and John Hightower have not proven trustable. Fulgham's another one not to reach for. Next week, Ravens, that's a tough matchup. But if we look back and say, hey, Travis Fulgham became a thing, it'll be because he turned out to be Alshon. Okay, I'm really breaking with waiver wire tradition here. I'm giving you a quarterback in this segment, and it's because a lot of people out there are hurting, not as much as Dak Prescott is hurting. We're not going to show the actual injury because it was disturbing, but you know Dak fractured his ankle. He's had surgery. He's out for the year, and the question will come in, I'm in a deeper league. I had Dak. I didn't have anyone else. What should I do? And I don't really think I have a immediate long-term solution for you, but the short term, week 6, here's your guy, Yosemite Sam. We showed him on the Preston Williams film. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick lit up the 49ers. You can't kill him. Tua waits in the wings, and a bad effort on Sunday might have pulled the ripcord. But instead, Fitz did what Fitz does, the unexpected escape act, flopping all over the place. Picking on some, shall we say, interesting defensive play calls that had poor Brian Allen singled up against Devontae Parker for an easy money touchdown. That is, why are you doing that, Niners defense? How about your fall away skyhook as Mike Gesicki gets behind the undermanned secondary for a 70-yard gain? You know with Fitz, this is fool's gold. You know this is not going to last all season. You've seen this act. But we'll just show you this touchdown to Preston Williams again just to reemphasize that, okay, no matter what we think of Fitz, he is a legit tough guy who will absolutely allow himself to be clobbered in order to make a play. And all this is by way of saying week 6, Miami's schedule has now changed. Instead of the Broncos, they will be playing the Jets at home. And if I am in a deep league and I'm searching for a Dak replacement, Fitz Magic, he's the 1 week streamer. And we will go from there. But you always knew who the number 1 deeper league ad was going to be, right? It's got to be Mr. 4 touchdowns himself, Chase Claypool of the Steelers, the rookie wide receiver. It's a wild world of wide receivers. I can't tell you how they're going to use him going forward, but we can watch his film and draw conclusions about the player, at least what we've seen so far. We can go back as far as opening night. It was a Monday, week 1, and find something special on Claypool's film lined up wide right. This is 2 deep safeties, so it's not straight man coverage. So it has to be a perfect turkey hole shot, and it is. And look at the body control to get his feet inbounds. Week 2 against the Broncos, wide left. If we started from the press box view, you'll see a good read by Big Ben. He sees the defensive back lined up over the slot receiver, Juju, and that guy gives away a blitz, which means Ben now knows he does have man coverage. The deep safety on that side is going to have to truck up and get Juju, meaning Claypool on the outside is one-on-one against the rookie corner, Michael Ojemudia. And Claypool may be 6'4", 238, but if he's even, he's leaving. Those final few strides before the ball gets there, forget about it. In terms of size and speed, Claypool is seriously one of those super freaks. Now, if we flash it forward to Sunday, we show you this play, a punt return of all things, because the Steelers like to do this with their wideouts. Antonio Brown did it for years. This is Deontay Johnson, and he's getting injured and having to leave the game. And after he left, you know what happened. Chase Claypool went crazy. This jet motion reverse, it's nice stuff. All teams do this now. Claypool is big and fast. It's fine. If you watched this game in real time, I don't know, you didn't think that much about this. But okay, here Claypool is wide left, and the thing to pay attention to is the release. It's not all world, but it's good. It's not Michael Thomas, but it's a hard jab step to the outside. It shows an attention to detail. I think Eagle fans would say Jalen Mills should do better and not take the fake. It's the beginning of some nice technique, the kind of early play work that you have to get open in the NFL. Obviously, once he gets open and in the open field, we are getting a sense of Claypool, the playmaker with the ball in his hands. This one's a weird diamond formation, and hooray! I don't think this really speaks to Claypool's ability, but more the opportunity they gave him. To be fair, could have been any receiver at the back of that diamond, and Sunday it was Claypool. You want to start talking super freak territory. You want to squint and imagine DK Metcalf in a Steeler jersey. This touchdown didn't even count. But look at Claypool get another nice release against a corner named Craig James, not the former Patriots running back or college football announcer, and I guess fling him aside for some offensive pass interference. I don't know, maybe, but they called it. It's a physically superior, dominant kind of play. And then to top it all off out of the left slot, are you really going to match this red-hot monster against linebacker Nathan Gary man-on-man? This is a bad defensive plan in a game filled by bad defensive plans for the Eagles, but Big Ben smiles, and he salts the game away with touchdown number 4. As a prospect, Claypool was already beloved for his performance in the Underwear Olympics, a.k.a. the NFL Combine. But not every big, fast guy becomes a starter right away and not a fantasy option right away, and sometimes never becomes an NFL player. I mean, looking your way, Jonathan Baldwin, Cody Latimer, Kevin White. How about just the past couple years, Brashad Perryman, Miles Boykin, etc., etc. Claypool is building something real. And therefore, he's the number 1 deeper league ad for the week. It's really hard for me to say spend it all because odds are Deontay Johnson gets well eventually and Juju Smith-Schuster is heard from again and Claypool is a rookie and he probably goes up and down. But what if he doesn't? What if he's kind of undeniable physically and there's a chance to get a regular fantasy starter? If you're desperate at wideout, well, what can I tell you? It feels foolish to chase sometimes when you're just looking after numbers and looking for those guys, and every so often, it does pay off. So that's our preliminary list of waiver ads. But with this weird schedule, I want to reemphasize, make sure you listen to the podcast, find all the details at harrisfootball.com. I will update the list on Tuesday and Wednesday as needed, depending on what happens in these games coming up Monday and Tuesday. We thank you so much for watching. We hope you'll support the sponsor and like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. See ya. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.